Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hiveswap. We just got done befriending Zavidi, and now it's time to befriend JoJo! Tegiri Kalbur. Like I said, I think this guy has been alluded to in a previous Friendsim, because his description matches. Remember Surva in their route ages and ages ago talked about how a troll with a katana, saved them from a bunch of bullies, and that kind of matches this guy's description. So I think, which is funny because Surva played a major role in Zabidi's route too. So this is like the Zabidi. So this is like the Surva callback volume of Friendsim, it seems. So anyway, Troll JoJo, let's see what you have to say. Or Troll Dirk, as I dubbed them way back when we first heard about them. But judging from the JoJo reference, that term may not apply for much longer. In an utterly unsurprising turn of events, the knight finds you trolling Alternia in search of, well, trolls. The friendly type, preferably. Although you've been known to work wonders with hostile folks, too. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, you don't remember last week's, right? It's like we talked to the Grand High Blood and lived. That was freaking amazing last week. Anyway, your current hunting ground appears to be a primarily teal neighborhood, which suits you fine. Teals live relatively comfortably and are usually only mildly disdainful of you. This strikes you as a good place to search for companionship. We went to Clown Church. Yes, we went to Clown Church and lived to tell the tale. You've got another pressing concern, though. A faint glow far on the horizon, which suggests that the sun will be rising soon, a couple hours from now at most. Nights on Alternia seem to last forever, but when the daylight hits, it hits hard, like a truck. But the truck is on fire, and the fire is nuclear fusion, and the truck is a star. Point is, you're not in the mood for another sunburn. You'd better snag a buddy before it's too late. You, the strange hornless thing. Speak of the devil. This is some interesting music. Speak of the devil. You rip around and spot a troll boy with a stylish hat and a sword seized behind his back. His clothes are a little shabby, but he carries himself with a rigid, composed air. What are you? Some kind of mutant troll? Or another sentient creature? This music is a little loud. Let me just turn it down a bit. Sign of the Weeb. Yes. No, Sign of the Weeb is a Rufio's sign. Definitely the latter, you say, unless you would prefer the former, in which case you're that. Actually, but mutants, you've learned, are not particularly well liked on this planet. An alien? I won't have to call you then. Not immediately, at least. You don't appear to be a call-on-sight species. Lucky for you that I won't have to loose my blade, and lucky for you I have found a potential comrade. I know what you seek. Shelter and friendship? Not necessarily in that order. You're about to speak up, but he's already moving on. You seek the meeting place of the East Alternian Fine Animated Art Appreciation Society. We're going to an anime club. This is going to be great. Or, as some less cultured souls would call it. Or, as somewhat less cultured souls would call it, the anime club. I feel called out. The song is Assault from Homestuck Volume 9. Am I the only one imagining this guy sounding like Ronaldo Fryman? Not yet, but I can see where you're coming from. He may get to Ronaldo levels of annoying later. Give him a chance, though. Oh, a club. Back home, teachers used to go on and on about clubs. How clubs were a wonderful place to meet new friends. You didn't really believe it then, but maybe things are different here in Alternia. You confidently assert that yes, you are here for the animes. Good. I feared I was going to have to cancel tonight's meeting due to no-shows, but now I can proceed as scheduled. Follow me. Oh, that's kind of sad. He gestures towards his hive and begins to stride confidently towards it, but then he rethinks it, pausing to look back at you. Wait. Subs or dubs? Oh dear. Well, I know the correct answer. For this guy, I mean, like, the real correct answer is that it doesn't matter at all. Well, I'm not going to get into the politics of it, but the correct answer is subs. Okay, so yeah, let's just go down the list of wrong answers. Dubs! What? Perfect, a fellow connoisseur. I very much misread Tegiri's brand of what's the word I'm looking for? He is a different kind of yeah. Okay. Did we find the reason why his club is deserted? That's another possible thing. I did not expect that. I very much misread Tegiri's brand of extremism. Perfect, a fellow connoisseur. Let's continue. Oh, yeah. This is exactly what I expected to see. A lot of East Alternia girls, a lot of swords, and some body pillows. And then that's a huge Buster Sword looking thing. I love it. Tegiri invites you into his hive with a sweeping bow, and you step into the foyer. The hive looks normal from the outside, normal by troll standards anyway, at least, but the inner decor has an extremely different vibe to it. It reminds you of Japanese architecture. Tegiri takes off his sandals before entering the next room. You take your shoes off too, if you had any. As you step into his living room, you are assaulted, not literally, thankfully, by an absolute smorgasbord of merchandise. This place looks like someone did a Google search for otaku collection and opened the first result. Posters and scrolls adorn every inch of wall available, and the inches of wall that aren't available are blocked by shelves containing all sorts of DVDs, manga, and other such forms of media. On a large glass shelving unit near the room's exit, you spy a veritable cornucopia of anime figurines, most of whom seem to be in various states of undress. Uh-huh. You would like to describe it as tasteful nudity, but you would also like to describe yourself as the most popular person in Alternia, and both would be nice, and both would be a lie. Tegiri has arranged his merch meticulously according to blood color from red at the bottom to fuchsia at the top. I see Troll Yuffie from I'm just taking a better look here, and like there are some pretty obvious anime references in the background here. Like on the top shelf, I see Troll Yuffie from One Piece. What else? It's like it's like there are a lot of anime references back here. Just waiting for people to find them. See, that one has horns like Shenron from DBZ, the Lucius right above Tegiri's head. Anyway. I see you are admiring my fine East Alternian collectibles. I polish them daily, just as I polish my blade. Don't touch them, or you'll taste folded steel. You slowly protect your hand. You wouldn't dream of touching them. That was never, ever something you were planning on doing. You won't even breathe on them. In fact, you step far away from the collectibles, just in case. Here's Lucius's Shiba. With that step, you bump into something behind you and hear a soft ruff. As you spin around to look, you see what must be Tegiri's Lucius surveying you with an intense gaze. It looks like a lot like a Shiba Inu, if they were twice the size and had opposable everything. Honestly, watching it scuttle around like a monkey while sniffing at you is pretty entrancing. It's a monkey Shiba. Eventually, you seem to meet its standards, because it darts out of the room. You hear some rustling, what you assume is the kitchen. That was Tadashi Inu, my Lucius. Tadashi Inu, my Lucius. He taught me everything I know. I could not have asked for a better sensei. Yeah, dogs are great, you respond, and then immediately wish you could take that back. Dogs are great. That's got to be the blandest possible statement you could have made. And possibly inaccurate, too. What's this thing called? A bark beast? A fetch hound? A wolfgasm? A wolf gremlin? Oh, Tegiri isn't even paying attention to you anymore. He's busy perusing his shelves, picking out some DVDs. Per my viewing schedule, we'll watch a carefully curated selection of episodes from one classic and from one recent release. But, since you're a newcomer, it might be best not to jump into the middle of Last Bout's series. Philosopher Half Iron. Full Metal Alchemist. I see what you did there. Perhaps we shall instead begin with the first season of school-fed heroism and transition into some... Is that My Hero Academia? I guess. And transitioning into some episodes of Ismet Stuck Morning. Love Struck Morning? I don't know. Love Struck... I don't know. Not sure what that last one is referencing. The original Aryan, of course, not the censored one with the ridiculous CGI dragon. Ugh. Looks like Tegiri intends to take full control of the morning's activities, which you find entirely copacetic. The less you need to assert your own opinions and make your own choices, the less likely you are to fuck up. It's probably not a healthy way to live, but it's gotten you somewhere between 1 to 19 friends so far, so you're sticking to it. With deft and precise movements, Tegiri retrieves a disc from its container and pops it into the troll equivalent of a DVD player. It makes a slimy, chugging noise as it sucks the disc in, and like usual, you aren't sure if it's an inanimate object or a living being. Either way, you're a little disgusted. The DVD player hums and Tegiri's TV lights up with a colorful title screen. You're ready to get settled in for a journey through the wonderful world of the animes, but he frowns and pauses the episode less than a minute in. Hang on. This isn't the correct copy. The localization of these lines was changed after the original translator was culled by a purple blood for crimes against buffoonery. I specifically ordered the first edition and paid extra for it. This is unacceptable. Tegiri stops the DVD player, ejects the disc and places it back in its case. Come, there's still time in the night. We need to go resolve this immediately? What the hell? The shop that imported it for me is nearby. We're going to go start an argument over a dub. For a bad dub. He heads for the door and beckons for you to follow, which you do. You guess it was too much to hope for a quiet morning inside, wasn't it? At least you get to go shopping for animes, which sounds fun enough. Will it be at one of those fancy automated stores, you wonder? No. Unlike most stores in Eternia, this specialty shop is run by a living troll. A fellow collector who would not entrust such work to automation. So one would expect, with an actual think pan involved, there would be no careless mistakes like this. At least I'm on good terms with the owner, so I doubt there will be trouble. You, on the other hand, expect plenty of it. Pretty much everything on this goddamn planet has been trouble so far. Does he know how awful it is here? You don't want to human-splain to him or anything, but things are pretty awful here. Things are pretty awful here. Oh, you guess he knows. He is staring at one of the many billboards that line the streets. which has been defaced with bright red graffiti. It says some pretty nasty stuff about Triza. Rebel sentiments grow by the moment. Alternia lies on the verge of peril. A blade's edge? And not any blade, but the blade of a razor-sharp folded steel katana, forged under the East Alternian moonlight, heated by the bellows breath of a magnificent draconian Lucius, cooled by the shimmering cascade of an acid waterfall, and fit to be handled only by a true expert. Do you dance? You're a little caught off guard by that question. Dancing? As in moving one's body to music? In a way, yes. Moving to the sweet music of steel on steel, the rhythm of combat, the stiletto step that weaves death and glory into one beautiful motion. Oh my god, this guy is so extra. I kind of love it. Do you dance? Oh, sword fighting, of course. You really should have figured that one out. This guy's dial has only 2 settings, talking about swords or talking about anime, and sometimes he gets particularly frisky and talks about both at once. You tell him that you don't know how to handle swords, but they seem pretty cool, and you'd love to learn. Cool? Heh. Swordplay is more than cool. It is a way of life, a code of honor. To pick up the blade is to bind yourself to the tenets of Bushido, and to be prepared at all times to enforce justice, the only way a swordsman knows, through steel. Someday, the pursuit of justice may bring me face to face with these rebel scum. I must be ready to show them the true, magnificent terror of the blade. Who knows? Maybe I would even be rewarded a clown-gressional Medal of Honor. A troll can dare to dream. So that's why he practices swordplay, huh? To enforce justice. Kind of like a vigilante? Vigilante? Please. I would only ever call a troll who legally deserved death. What kind of lawless moron do you take me for? You don't take him for a moron at all. In fact, he's very smart and clever and just... You hope you're not laying it on too thick, but he seems to enjoy the praise. Ah, we're here. This won't take too long. He's taking you to a night market that reminds you of the place where we met Polypop. A strip mall lies to the left of the many tents and stalls, and a sign above one door reads Super Tapato Imports. Tapato? Oh yeah, Tapato was like, it's a reference to the old store that used to run Homestuck merch. It still runs, I think. It still has some merch there. As you enter, Tegiri makes a beeline for the counter, which is manned by a greasy-looking gold blood with pinkish-looking eyes. This is a neat little troll Mega Man. I love it. You, on the other hand, are more interested in the rest of the store. It looks a lot like Tegiri's living room, but bigger. Anime figurines on sale for what looks to be a preposterous amount of money. DVDs and comics lining the shelves. Arcade games in the corner. There's even a section of replica swords, which all look far too sharp and legitimately deadly for your liking. Skulking between the shelves is an olive blood guy. You can't quite tell if he works here or if he's just browsing. You're not sure if any trolls even have normal jobs. You're about to ask the olive guy about a particularly interesting DVD when you're distracted by a commotion at the counter. You're pretty sure you heard Tegiri snarling something about his rights as a consumer. Looks like trouble is brewing. You turn your head towards the counter and listen in. Do you really think you can get away with ripping me off like this? Do you know who I am? My blood caste? A teal blood like me has connections, a vast network of like-minded souls at my beck and call, ready to be unsheathed against my helpless foes. The legal force I bring to bear against you is greater than your puerile mind could ever imagine. Yeah, and that's the snake game from Act 1, that is in the corner there. A fleet of legislators will descend upon you like shadow clones, each armed with the greatest weapon of them all, knowledge. And with our intricate understanding of the alternative legal code, you will be mired in suits so myriad, so mind-numbing, you will wish for the swift and early death my blade can provide. Or you can offer me an exchange of equal or greater value to my emergible purchase. Which path will you choose to walk, scum? Yeah, I love the shine on the sword. It's hilarious. You wander closer to the counter, hoping you might be able to help resolve the situation. But instead, you blunder right into the olive blood and send the box tumbling from his hands to the ground. Oh no. A bunch of assorted products spill out as the shopkeeper gasps dramatically. You don't see what the big deal is. Looks like some more DVDs and manga. One cover features a troll with heart-shaped horns and a bright pink sign. Another features some red-blooded douchebag wearing pants way too tall for him. Have we found the contraband section? Because, yeah, if that's a reference to the Sufferer, that's not something you're allowed to have. Tegiri picks up one of the mangas and waves it in front of the shopkeeper's face. Care to explain what I'm looking at here? Imperial Dictate, number of the second, section 3.2, the depiction of non-standard hemological attributes is strictly forbidden. Also, like the pink blood, yeah, that's another thing that's clearly not allowed, apparently. Imperial Dictate number the 7th, section 5, material which encourages action against the state is considered contraband of the highest degree. The olive blood, who can clearly see the situation careening downhill like a scuttle buggy without wheel stops, begins to creep towards the door. You'd love to do the same, but you can't give up on the potential to friendship. It's basically pathological. To think that my favorite East Alternian hobby shop could stoop so low as to peddle this criminal filth. What a sickening portrayal. The shopkeeper stammers, offering a litany of muddled explanations that only seem to incense Tegiri further. He is wholly for a friend. No, wait, it's satire? Tegiri, whoa, hello! He's got the fucking Sharingan. Tegiri slams a palm down in the corner and his eyes shoot open, revealing dark purple irises with a strange swirl pattern. Okay, those have got to be contact lenses because that's not how troll eyes work. I suppose there's an outside chance that he's a mutant, but I think that's just a contact lens. Imperial Dictate number the 61st, section 2. Satire is especially contraband. You think you can mess with me? I have watched countless hours of legal drama, played and replayed the legendary legislature and memorized every twist. I know the law back and forth. And now it's time for the punishment due. You're fucking dead, kiddo. Oh dear. As Tegiri leans over the counter, his free hand grips the hilt of his katana and tenses, ready to draw. He's about to straight up execute this dude? Let's see, I think the correct answer is to not intervene, but let's defend the shopkeeper and just see what happens. Okay, you know this is a terrible idea, but you've seriously had it up to here with being party to the murder of random trolls. You quickly interpose yourself between Tegiri and the Goldblood. Does he really have to kill this guy for what seems to be his first offense? You launch into an impassioned spiel about love and friendship and justice, writing the value of forgiveness, writing the value of forgiveness and second chances really hard. And for good measure, you throw in a little side note about how Tegiri's favorite shop will close down if he kills this dude. Silence. Tegiri shoves you roughly aside and you go careening into a display full of body pillows. You watch, stomach plummeting, as Tegiri turns back to the swordkeeper and slowly draws his sword. But then at the last second, he reconsiders. Consider yourself lucky I'm in a good mood. If I catch you selling contraband again, your life will be mine. Tegiri strides out of the store, holding a fresh copy of the DVD he wanted to exchange. You give the shopkeeper a vaguely apologetic look and rush out of the store behind him. Whew, that was a close one. You thank Tegiri profusely for listening to your dumb little speech about Whatever it was you said, honestly, you already forgot. You're clearly new to this planet. I felt pity for your naivete. But I should have just killed him. Death is the legally prescribed punishment for such crimes of his as his. Actually, that's the legally prescribed punishment for most crimes. I should have separated him from his head. But I looked into your pleading eyes and I saw... Tegiri goes quiet. You would describe the silence as being particularly broody. There's a lot of silences like that on this planet. Then finally, he speaks. This isn't my first time. It was just over a sweep ago, I believe. Oh yeah, he's about to tell the Surva story. I was patrolling the hive patch in search of evildoers when I caught the unmistakable stench of smoke in the air. Upon pursuing the lead, I saw a hive, partially collapse, partially on fire. My instincts flared, and I rushed in to help the innocent soul who was trapped there. But as I was helping the girl bandage her wounds, it occurred to me that I had made a grievous error in judgment. Trolls below a certain age without a Lucius, or a proper hive, are considered unviable and slated to be culled. By rights, I should have put her out of her misery, the moment I realized my mistake. And yet, I looked into her deep gray eyes, dulled from the pain of loss, and I sheathed my blade. Oh yeah, it was Papaya that got... It was Polypa that got saved, not Surva. In fact, even though she is hiveless and Luciusless, I remain in contact with her to this day. Knowing deep down that one day I must cull her, the law demands it. But I haven't yet. I don't know if I could. Why does my conviction waver at times like these? If he's talking about who you think you're talking about, you're pretty sure he couldn't kill her even if he tried? Yeah, Polypa. But that's not the point here. The point is he's spilling some real and true and deep emotion with you. This friendship is basically in the bag. Just gotta drop some sweeping vague wisdom that makes him feel better about potentially not being an unthinking cog in the Alternia murder machine. You offer a light suggestion that maybe what is legal and what is just aren't always the same thing. Just a little thought. Yeah, Polypa would kick his weeb ass. Yeah, she would. Be awesome. Maybe he's doing the right thing, overlooking her situation because of how obviously fucked up it is to be a homeless orphan. He goes silent for a long time, chewing his bottom lip. You're naive. Naive, uncultured, unenlightened. Wow, thanks! You think the world is simple, like a cartoon for children? Says the fucking anime weeb. But this is Alternia, a land ruled by cold logic, where men such as myself must make the hard decisions. It's not easy being dedicated to the code of law. It asks much of us and gives us little in return, but it gives us order, it keeps the beasts at bay. If I were to question it, what then? Would I begin to wonder if it is unjust for a blue blood to command his servants? For Imperial drones to cull the infirm? For us to obey the ever-changing whims of Alternian royalty? It takes a lot of effort to suppress your, well, yeah. But for the sake of this burgeoning friendship, you allow him to continue his monologue. Riots in the streets, troll killing troll, even more than usual, I mean. No, I cannot waver. These hands must remain steady and true, though I feel a pull towards the scorching fangs of the light. I must continue my path and remain in the tender, righteous embrace of the dark. Truth be my blade, intellect my sensei, and justice my only companion on this lonely road. He goes on like that for quite a while. It all starts to meld together in your head, and you lose count of how many times he's repeated some screed about justice and truth and being smarter than all the other trolls in the room. It honestly sounds to you like he's just lonely. Lonely Blade! Steven Universe reference. Oh, Lonely Blade, you so lonely. You know a whole lot about loneliness, and the poor management thereof. Some people throw themselves into their nerdy anime hobbies, and others become obsessed with making friends no matter the cost to their mental or physical well-being. Maybe he just needs a couple of good pals to remind him of what it's like to have a heart. But if you try to tell him that, he'll probably just respond with another long and winding monologue, likely stolen from an anime he watched recently. Maybe you should just let him vent. You have my thanks for lending your ear. Oh, a compliment brings you out of your reverie. Nothing interrupts the old introspection machine like the opportunity to chug on the succulent ambrosia that is any kind of praise or gratitude. It's no big deal, you tell him. You're a great listener. That's what friends are for. Has he considered having more friends? Like you, for example? He opens his mouth like he's about to reiterate the whole lone swordsman thing, but you hastily try to change the topic. What's with his eyes? Most trolls you've seen had gray irises, and those who didn't followed the typical biological trend of displaying their blood color. Tegiri pauses, his grip tensing on his sword as his fangs dig into his lip. Oh geez, this must be the most closely guarded secret. Have you earned enough trust to hear it? Their contact lenses for cosplay. Called it! Nice. Oh. Fair enough. Actually, is cosplaying as big a blood cast... is cosplaying as a different blood cast even legal on this planet? If he's doing it, it probably is, right? You're about to ask when something distracts you, the sight of another troll standing in front of Tegiri's hive, using it as shelter from the rising sun. Yeah, called it. Lenses! They're pacing back and forth with precise movements, glancing at one of the windows almost like they're plotting to break in. And when they hear footsteps approaching, they perk up and whirl their head around. Hey, wait a second. You recognize them? Oh, we do? Polypa! Polypa spots you before Tegiri spots her. Her expression is hard and stoic, eyes glancing between the two of you as she assesses the situation. And then, like she's throwing on a disguise, her face softens and she smiles. Hey, Tegs. I'm starting to wonder where you were, and if anime night was cancelled. Lucius is staring at me through the window. I think he thinks it's funny watching me stuck outside. Roasting to death while you're chasing purr beasts around the hive batch. Heh, classic Tadachi. Why were you late? Just busier than expected with some work. She shoots you a sharp glance. Assembling some new mecha models. You know how it is. Yes, of course. It's all too easy to get wrapped up in one's hobby. Yes. Yes, building mechs is exactly what she was doing, I'm sure. Yep. Anyway, I didn't realize we'd have a third for once. Oh, that's sweet. The anime club is literally just her and Tegs. Oh, that's adorable. Not to mention somebody I know. Nani? You and my no Kohai have already met? She pauses, her eyes darting back and forth between you two once more. She seems to be assessing the situation, wearing the look like an assassin trying to evade capture. You recognize that look, considering she was literally wearing it the last time you met. We're kind of moirails. Yeah, we are. Oh, hey, another reference to the successful route. Yay! That's canon for the moment. I love the Moirail moment with Polypa. Seriously was adorable, and I'm glad it is canon for the time being. Whoa, that's absolutely not what you thought you were, but you just kind of nod your head and roll with it. It seems to be what she wants you to do. Oh, Moirails. Tegiri's face tightens almost imperceptibly. Oh, but you caught it. Nothing gets past your honed friend-making's eyes. Well, actually, a lot of things get past them, but not this particular thing. We're Moirails with a lot of people. We're kind of a Moirail slut. You're finely tuned to the nuances of social situations, as long as those nuances don't involve making a binary choice on which your social future hinges. Well, as you know, I am far too busy studying the blade to pursue quadrants of any sort. A foolish waste of time. Were it not for the laws of this land, I would swear off them entirely. Are you sure it isn't that you just can't get a date? You don't have to play the mysterious lawyer, you know. There are other clubs you could join instead of insisting on running your own. He huffs, looking away. You hear his Lucius barking from behind the window in a tone that sounds like laughter. Fools mock that which they cannot understand. And to think I was going to congratulate you on finding love. Once you finished your spiel about romance being dumb, Polypa gives him a light, friendly whap, which he responds to with a smile. You can tell the exchange is friendly, not only because he's smiling, but because he's still standing. Enough banter. The harsh glare of the sun begins to crest, and we have East Alternian animation to indulge in. I'll allow you both to spend the day in my hive, if needed. There's space. Oh shit, a slumber party? And with more than one participant, even. This has got to be worth extra friend points, so you're in. Shelter from the boiling death orb in the sky barely even registers you as an added bonus. Polypa smiles at you as the three of you enter Tegiri's hive. Aw. Tegiri covers up all the windows to... what was that? Foon? I think that was what that was. I missed it. Tegiri covers up all of his windows to block out the sun, and then starts up the new copy of his DVD, which thankfully seems to meet his standards this time. You settle in on the couch, basking in the warm glow of friendship, and prepare to lose yourself to hours of the beautiful, wonderful animes. Aww. Oh, that's adorable. Wan, that was it. Bark, if I recall correctly. Okay, I don't have much time left, so I'm going to very quickly go through the failure routes. I'm just going to kind of breeze past them to get to and fail as quickly as possible. In the meantime, somebody pull up Tegiri's sign for me. I want to see what it is before I leave. So let's see. Failure 1. Subs. It's entertaining how wrong you are. But even the greatest of Alternian philosophers requires sparring opponents on the battlefield of the intellect. To challenge your assumptions with my superior logic and taste will be a fulfilling task. Come in. Not really the reaction you were hoping for, but you'd say anything to get into somebody's hive, so you'll take it. Tegiri invites you into the... It looks like it's not a failure, it's just... And... I see you remind... Oh, and then it's not a proper failure, it just continues onward from here. That's interesting. Okay, so the sub is not an actual failure, it just sort of stops. It just sort of continues onward with slightly different dialogue. Whoops. Ah, crap, I didn't mean to... I meant to load, not save. Oh well. Main menu. Yes. Now we gotta start over. At least that was quick. So yeah, the failure route is just not having an opinion at all. His expression immediately sours, a look you're all too familiar with. If you had a mouse, you'd be frantically scrolling the wheel upward to roll back time and make a new choice. But you live in the real world, where you have to face the consequences of your goddamn awful anime opinions. Have you no conviction? The anime club is a sanctuary of the strong will and blah 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 blah. Yep. You begin to sputter a protest. There are other anime fans in the city. Perhaps their gatherings will be more on your level. Farewell. So yeah, you have no strong opinion. Slam. This kind of looks like... This looks like Caliborn's artwork, doesn't it? Anyway, and the other failure is just watching the troll die. So let's do that. Don't intervene. You will, however, squint a little so you don't see the full gory detail of the culling. Ah! He leaps over the counter and swings wildly at the guy, but many of his attacks fail to connect. It's mostly bombastic anime-style moves that don't translate well to actual combat. Still, some strikes hit home, drawing a spray of murky glow of blood that jolts the shopkeeper out of his petrified fear. Sonic Blast. Oh. He's fighting back. Nice. The olive blood vanished. He got lucky. He ran away. Found the drone. It's from their own. Looks like so it looks like the failure route here was oh dear. So it looks like basically the failure route there was a drone comes and attacks us, and he just sort of lets it happen. That's kind of a bad failure. I really don't have time, but like that does seem like an entertaining thing to revisit later. Useless. Anyway, so what's his sign? Libertarius, sign of the hidden. He is a Durst Void player. Interesting. Okay, so that was an adorable couple of Hiveswap Hiveswap routes. And now I have to get off to work. So I am just gonna... So sorry to rush out of here like that, but I have to go. That really was quite entertaining again. I loved seeing Polypill again. So yes, I will see you later. See you in a couple weeks with the next one. Bye-bye. Actually, wait, no, I won't, because, will I? Oh, yeah, I will. So I'm getting some dates confused. For a minute, I thought that the next Hiveswap Let's Play would be interrupted by my sister's wedding, and it will not. That's happening next week, not 2 weeks from now. Anyway, it's like, man, my sister's getting married in a week. It's crazy. Anyway, personal asides aside, it really is time for me to go. So I will see you later. Bye-bye.